Mr. Stephen Meszaros, Senior Director and Business Resilience and Business Development, Pfizer. Mr. Stephen Meszaros is the Senior Director of GEHS Business Resiliency. He provides oversight and standardization of the EH&S services and support to all business development projects. He also oversees the Corporate Business Resiliency Program framework covering emergency response, loss prevention, crisis management, business continuity, and disaster recovery programs. Steve is also the chairman of the board of Pharmaceutical Supply Chain Initiative, PSCI, which is a non-profit organization of 21 top pharma companies from around the world. PSCI's mission is to promote continuous improvement of the pharma supply chain in the areas of labor, ethics, and EHS. Thank you, sir.
Is that better? Little? Yeah, so I was starting to think. I looked at my iPhone, then I looked over to my shoulder and I saw people looking at their iPhone there and they were looking at iPhone here. So, we talked about different ways of presenting, and some of you were at the main conference, right? Saw the main presentation I gave. So the anticipation was we were going to do that with the executives today. But I have a different kind of thought about it. I once worked for this guy who's actually running manufacturing for Bristol Myers Squibb right now. And then I worked for another fella who's now running manufacturing for Merck, Sanat Chattopadhyay. And each of them had a philosophy. They'd walk in the room when we worked for them, and he said, "How many slides you got?" I go, 32. Okay, go to the last one and tell me what you want. All right? So, this is my last slide. Okay? And I want to talk about what we want, but I do want to be respectful about the subject, right? Because, we've heard some great stuff about green chemistry and everything else. We heard from a banker who always steps out when I talk. I noticed that. But that's okay because it allows us to maybe open up a bit. There's the question, what is this all about, right? So every day you wake up and you say, what do I do? I mean, we work in an industry which is, you can be pretty proud of what you do in society. I mean, if I worked for, Smith & Wesson, I might wake up and have a different feeling, right? But it's like I have a guy, one of my guys that work for me, he's down in the Carolinas, he's with our vaccines business. And, of course, they make baby vaccines. And when I call him, I say, "How you doing, Greg?" He says, "Great. What are you up to?" He says, "Just saving babies every day, making baby vaccines." Very proud, and it is about what we do, right? As I was in the other room, some of the guys were introducing themselves, and people introduce themselves kind of through their company instead of themselves. And that's really neat, because that's who we are, part of what we are. The TV guy was very proud. His counterpart made the point, is the Titan, the number one number of prescriptions, being sold in the U.S., or maybe it was the world, I can't remember the fact, but the point is, that's awesome when you think about it, from one company, right? Pfizer, in our innovative business, we sell 30 billion doses a day, right? In one day, in the innovative business, 30 million doses are being injected, taken by mouth, everywhere, just on the innovative side. In our established products, the generics business, which many of you are partners in that business, every single day, we sell 34 billion doses. You know, and you think of that, and then in the consumer business, it's 24 billion. When you take, and then I talked to Teva, who we all know is the Titan that beats us. How many have they sold? So you think of the value of what we bring out there to the millions and millions of patients. You know, what it all breaks down is that, you know, it's incredible what we do, and it's so valuable. And that's why when we talk about PSCI, it's really critical, because it is about business continuity. It is about ensuring we deliver those doses to those patients, right? Every single day, whether it's an oncology patient or whether it's someone with a headache. You know, it could be as simple as that, or we're going to help him with his cough, right? It's there. And, you know, PSCI came together because these 24 companies had a common belief that we could do things together around this area, and this area that, you know, we got, and together we could do it better than by ourselves. But it is about the bottom line. It is risk reduction, right? Because these, when we sat down and wrote the principles, those principles were about risk reduction. And the risk was in the areas, you know, about labor issues. We had risk with ethics. We had risk with health and safety of your employees, our employees, but also these processes and risks, you know, with the environment. And those are really the issues that PSCI stands for. That there are real issues with this. And it is a business critical element that we make sure that these risks don't get out of hand. It allowed us to work together to come up with a standard set of kind of practices in these buckets. And that's what we want the industry to follow. Because if we don't standardize and we don't manage these risks,